Welcome back to the Deep Dive from 1125. This is our Finance Talk segment, where we use data and insights to help you decode the bigger picture. Last time we tackled the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst exams. Today we're diving into another major credential, the CPA, the Certified Public Accountant exam. We've got some great material to work with, detailed guides, personal stories, the works. Our mission, as always, is to cut through the complexity and give you the essential takeaways on becoming a CPA today. So, first things first, just remind us, what exactly is the CPA? Why is it such a big deal in accounting? Our sources call it the Uniform CPA examination. It's pretty much the standard, right? The required test to become a certified public accountant in the U.S. And it's more than just passing a test, isn't it? It opens doors in corporate finance, auditing, even personal taxes. It's that stamp of approval.
Exactly. It's foundational. But what's really interesting and quite significant is how it's changed very recently. As of January 2024, the AICPA and NASBO, those are the main bodies involved, launched something called the CPA evolution model.
CPA evolution.
Yeah, and it's not just a minor tweak, it's a real restructuring. Think about it. Previously, everyone kind of had to learn the same broad stuff. This new model tries to fix skill gaps, offer more flexibility, and let future CPAs specialize earlier. It's shifted from 4 required sections to this core plus discipline idea.
Core plus discipline. Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds like a pretty fundamental shift. How does that work? What are the core exams, and what about these disciplines?
Right. So the structure is key here. Everyone has to pass 3 core exams. These cover the essentials every single CPA needs. We're talking auditing and attestation, that's AUD, financial accounting and reporting, or FAR, and taxation and regulation, RG. That's your bedrock knowledge.
Got it, the non-negotiables.
Precisely. But then, and this is the new part, you choose one discipline exam out of 3 options. This is where you tailor your path. Your choices are BAR, which is Business Analysis and Reporting, ISC, Information Systems and Controls, or TCP, Tax Compliance and Planning.
Ah, so you get to lean into a specialty.
Exactly. It provides a clear pathway for specialization within the CPA credential itself. Say you're really into tech and data and finance. ISC is designed for that now. It's creating, a more diverse group of CPAs.
That makes a lot of sense, adapting to how the profession is changing. So once you've picked your path, what's the actual exam like? Our materials paint a picture of a pretty tough test day.
Oh, it's definitely rigorous. Each section, core or discipline, is a 4-hour exam. 4 hours.
Wow.
And it's not just knowing facts. You've got multiple choice questions, MCQs, but also these things called task-based simulations, TBSs.
TBSs, like case studies?
Sort of, yeah. Mini case studies where you have to apply what you know. You might use spreadsheets, look things up in simulated databases, review documents. It's practical application.
Okay.
And each section has 5 parts. They call them testlets. 2 with MCQs, 3 with TBSs. They're testing different skills too, remembering, applying, analyzing, and for AUD, even evaluation. It's meant to test professional judgment.
Professional judgment.
Yeah.
Not just memorizing. That's key. Okay, let's talk scoring. How do you pass, and what's this deadline everyone talks about?
Right. The scoring and the timeline. This is where planning is absolutely critical. The score is 0 to 99 for each section. You need a 75 to pass.
75. Is that curved?
No, crucially, it's not curved. And it's not just the percentage you got right. It's a scaled score determined by experts at the AICPA. It's all anonymous, too, for fairness. But the timeline, that's the other big piece. Generally, you have an 18-month rolling window.
Rolling window.
Yeah. From the date you pass your first section, you have 18 months to pass the other 3. If you don't, that first pass expires. You have to take it again.
Ouch. So the clock is always ticking.
It really is. Now, some states are talking about or have moved to 30 months, which helps, but you absolutely have to check your specific state board. The rules can vary.
Definitely need to check the local rules. Can you give an example of how that 18-month window works in practice? It sounds like it could get complicated.
Sure. Let's say you pass FAR in January 2024. Great start. Then maybe you pass RAG in August 2024.
Okay.
If you're in an 18-month state, your FAR credit would expire at the end of July 2025 if you haven't passed the other 2 sections by then. See?
Ah, okay. But the REG credit would still be good.
Right. The RAG credit would be good until February 2026. So you have to strategize which exams you take and when so you don't lose credits. It's like juggling expiry dates.
High-stakes juggling. Okay, let's zoom in on what's actually in these sections.
Yeah.
What are they testing you on in the core and discipline exams?
Let's start with the core, AUD auditing and attestation. This is still about financial integrity, ethics, risk assessment, evidence reporting. It now also pulls in some basic economics and business process stuff, being that financial watchdog.
Okay. And FAR, Financial Accounting and Reporting. That one has a reputation for being challenging.
It still is, definitely. It covers the accounting rules, the frameworks for businesses, nonprofits too. But it has changed. Some of the really complex niche topics like deep dives into goodwill, business combinations, government accounting, they've actually moved those out of FAR and into the bar discipline exam.
Oh, interesting. So it's more focused.
More focused in some ways, yeah. But conversely, some analytical stuff from the old BEC section, like financial statement ratios, has moved into FR. So it's pushing for more analytical skills right from the core.
Makes sense. What about Org, taxation and regulation?
Org is your core tax and business law section. Ethics and tax practice, basic business law, federal taxes for individuals and businesses focusing on the more common stuff. Similar to FR, the really complex tax areas like consolidated C Corp returns or international tax, those have shifted to the TCP discipline. So core Org is maybe a bit more manageable, focused on everyday tax matters.
Okay, so the core lays the foundation. Now, the disciplines, this seems like a big decision point. How do you choose? What's the flavor of each one?
This is really where your career goals come into play. Each one sets you up for a different kind of role. Let's take BAR business analysis and reporting. Think financial analysis, digging into company performance, valuation. It covers advanced accounting topics like stock compensation, derivative stuff that move from FR plus state and local government accounting.
So BAR is for someone aiming for like corporate finance or CFO track.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah. Financial planning, analysis, those kinds of roles.
Okay, and ISC, information systems and controls. Sounds techy.
It absolutely is. ISC is for the CPA who wants to bridge accounting and technology. IT audits, advisory work on systems, data management, looking at controls at service providers, those SOC reports. It even has a different scoring breakdown, 60% MCQ, 40% TBS, and it pulls in those IT risk and control topics. This is really geared towards the future of audit and advisory, dealing with systems and data security.
Super relevant today. Okay, and last one, TCP.
TCP, tax compliance and planning. This is for the tax specialists. It goes way beyond RG. We're talking complex federal tax for individuals and companies, sophisticated tax planning strategies, even personal financial planning elements.
So if tax is your passion, TCP is the clear choice.
Definitely. If you want to be a high-level tax advisor or strategist, TCP builds that deep expertise. So yeah, the takeaway is think hard about where you want your career to go and pick the discipline that aligns with that.
That really clarifies the options. Now, shifting gears a bit, what about just getting into the exam, the practical steps? How do you apply? What's the cost involved?
Right, the logistics. It varies a bit by state, but generally it's a three-step dance. First, you apply to your state board of accountancy. They check your eligibility education, sometimes age or residency.
And those requirements differ quite a bit, right?
We really do. So step one is checking your state's specific rules. Once they approve you, you get what's called a notice to schedule, or NTS.
The NTS, that's the key.
That's your ticket. With the NTS, you then go schedule your actual exam date and time at a Prometric testing center.
Okay. And is it expensive? I imagine there are fees.
There are. It's an investment for sure. You usually pay an application fee to the state board and then exam fees for each section you schedule. And these are generally non-refundable.
Non-refundable. What if something comes up, can you reschedule?
You can, yes, but there's a rescheduling fee. It depends how close you are to the test date, but it can be up to maybe $90 or so.
And if you don't pass?
You can retake, absolutely, as many times as you need. But each time you have to reapply, pay the fees again, get a new NTS, and there's usually a short waiting period, like 24 hours after getting your score, before you can reapply for that same section. It reinforces the commitment needed.
Commitment is definitely the word.
Yeah.
Which brings us to studying. The hours required are legendary. What do the sources say about study time?
Yeah, this is where the rubber really meets the road. The AICPA itself suggests, get this, at least 120 hours of study per section.
Per section, so that's
480 hours total, minimum. And look at the recent pass rates from early 2024. Some were quite low. BRR and FAR were down around 38%. TCP was higher, near 74%, but still. It confirms this is a very challenging exam.
wow, 480 hours. That's like a part-time job for 6 months or full-time for 3.
Yeah.
How do people manage that? What are the best strategies?
The successful strategies usually involve consistency and good resources. First, start early. Don't wait until you've booked the exam. Many candidates find prep courses invaluable, like Becker, Gleim, Rogers CPA Review. Becker, for instance, has a free trial with tons of practice questions, over 1,400 MCQs, and 100 TBSs.
So practice is key.
Huge. And consistency. Studying a bit every day is often better than marathon cramming sessions. Ask for help if you need it, mentors, study partners, and definitely take practice tests. The AICPA has sample exams that mimic the real thing, which helps build stamina and reduces surprises.
Any help with the cost of study? Those courses aren't cheap either.
Good point. There are resources. Besides free questions online, look into scholarships. Becker has one, the Newt D. Becker Scholarship, that covers their course cost. The AICPA Foundation also has scholarships, including one that can reimburse up to $1,000 in exam fees, so financial aid is definitely worth investigating.
That's great to know. I remember reading about one CPA materials, Logan Graff, who had a specific approach.
Yeah.
What was his strategy?
Yeah, Logan Graff's story was interesting. He basically treated it like a full-time job right after college, studied 6+ hours every day, didn't work simultaneously. He said that not working was probably the biggest factor in him passing all 4 sections on the first try. Even then, he got a 75 on FRR and a 78 on RG, right on the pass mark for FAR.
Just scrape through.
Exactly. It really underscores the level of focus and time it can take. For many, it might mean putting other things on hold temporarily.
Okay, so we've covered the massive effort involved, the study hours, the tough exams, the cost, which leads to the big question. Is it still worth it? Is getting a CPA today as valuable as it used to be?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And our sources give, well, a pretty nuanced perspective. Logan Graff, the same guy, said that back when he got his CPA in 2014, it was totally worth it, no question.
Why was he so sure then?
He felt it basically guaranteed him a job. It gave him instant credibility, made him more marketable, and ultimately let him start his own firm. He said, you can't put a price on the instant trust that comes with the CPA letters. That public trust factor was huge.
Instant trust. That's powerful.
Yeah.
But you said his view is more nuanced now?
Yes. Currently, he's more neutral. He questions if it's always the key to success today. He points out a lot of practical knowledge can be gained outside the CPA path. He even speculates we might see more people getting the enrolled agent, or EA, certification, which is purely tax-focused, while maybe CPA numbers could decline. He sort of adjusts the AICPA needs to make a stronger case for why you need the CPA in today's world beyond just tradition.
That's a really provocative thought. Is the competitive edge of the CPA changing? Is it shifting towards specific skills or other credentials, maybe alongside practical experience?
I think that's exactly the debate. Does the credential alone carry the same weight, or do you need to constantly demonstrate value through specialized skills? The exam itself, with the new discipline section, seems to be the profession's answer to that, trying to build in that specialization earlier.
It suggests the CPA of the future needs to be more than just a generalist. Maybe more of a specialized advisor, a tech expert, or a tax strategist.
Precisely. The exam's evolution reflects the evolving demands of the profession. It's adapting.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've gone from the new CPA evolution structure, the exam details, the study commitment, right, through to these evolving ideas about its value. You should now have a much clearer picture of what becoming a CPA really involves. And here's something for you to really think about. In a world where skills and knowledge can be gained in so many ways, how do you weigh a traditional tough certification like the CPA against practical experience or maybe more focused niche credentials? Which path feels right for your goals in finance today? We hope this discussion gave you valuable insights and maybe sparked some new ideas for your own journey. If you found this useful, please do like this video, share it, and subscribe to the 1125 channel. We'll be back soon with more finance talks and deep dives.